You've got a pile of documents and somewhere in them is the answer you actually need. This is Gemini Notebook. You give it your files and it becomes an expert on only your stuff. Then it'll answer your questions, show you exactly where each answer came from, and turn the lot into a podcast you can listen to in the car. Now, if you've searched for this before, you knew it as NotebookLM. Google renamed it in July 2026, so most tutorials out there are showing you the old screen. Everything I show you today runs on a free Google account, no card, no trial. The free version does have limits, and I'll put every single number on screen near the end because nobody else does. We'll build a real one together from scratch, so stick with me and you'll have your own working notebook by the end of this video. Let's dive in. First, what this thing actually is, because it is not another chatbot. The general chatbot has read most of the internet. Ask it about your business and it'll guess confidently. This one is the opposite. It knows nothing except the files you hand it. That sounds like a downside. It's the entire point, because it can only use your documents. It can show you the exact line it got every answer from. On screen, it's 3 panels. On the left, sources. That's your files. In the middle chat, that's where you ask your questions. And on the right, studio. That's where it turns your files into something else. Audio, video, a mind map, flashcards. Think of a notebook like a folder for one project, one job, one notebook. Don't tip your whole life into a single one. Quick note on the name, because this trips people up right now. This used to be called NotebookLM. On the 16th of July 2026, Google renamed it Gemini Notebook. Same product, same notebooks, same everything. Just a new name and a new logo. On a fresh account like this one, it's already the new name everywhere you look. But every tutorial you'll find was made before the change. So if the video you're watching says NotebookLM and your screen says Gemini Notebook, same thing, nothing's broken. The web address didn't change, and this is the one thing worth typing carefully. It's NotebookLM, all one word, no spaces, .google.com, still the old spelling, even though the product has a new name. Bookmark that. If you go hunting for GeminiNotebook.com, you'll end up somewhere else entirely. One more thing, the Gemini app has its own notebooks section with a similar name. It's a different place. Everything today is a standalone one at that address. From here on, I'll call it Gemini Notebook because that's what's on your screen. Right, let's make your first notebook. Head to that address. You'll need to sign in with a Google account. Any free one works, the same login you'd use for Gmail. If it won't let you in at all, check that your Google account has your date of birth on it. It needs that before it'll open. Now watch this, it drops you straight into a brand new blank notebook. It does that on purpose, so don't panic. First time in, you'll get a welcome box and probably a banner. Close them both. You'll see the same ones I do. Now let's name it. Click the title up here where it says Untitled Notebook. I'm going to use one example the whole way through, so it actually makes sense. Instead of being a feature tour, we run a small coffee roastery called Bright Lane, and we're launching cold brew in cans, so cold brew cans launch. On the free account, you get 100 of these notebooks, so there's no reason to be precious about making one. Now the important bit. A notebook is useless until you feed it. Let's click Add Source. You've got a few ways in, and I'll show you every one a normal person actually uses. First, files off your computer. I'll click Choose File, and I'm picking 2 at once. Hold Control or Command on a Mac to grab more than one. One is our 2-page launch plan as a PDF. The other is a page of messy notes from a planning meeting. You don't need my files. Use any PDF you've already got, a bank statement, a lease, a report from work. It all works the same. Give it a second while it reads them. That little spinner means it's still working, so wait for it to finish before you ask anything. It'll take PDFs, Word docs, Google Docs and slides, plain text, and even audio files. Next row, website, back into Add Source, and this time I'll paste a link. I'm grabbing the Wikipedia page on cold brew coffee so the notebook has some outside knowledge and not just our own opinions. Paste it in, hit Insert. Now, a warning that saves you a headache later. Websites come in as text only, no images, no video, and nothing behind a paywall. So if you add a paywall news article and the answers come back thin, that's why. Copy the text and paste it in instead. You can also drop in a YouTube link and it'll read the video's captions. This one's the slowest, and it only works if that video has proper captions. If it fails, that's almost always why. Last route, and it's the one people forget: copy text, add source, then paste text. I've got feedback from 5 cafe owners who buy from us. It's not a file anywhere, it's just notes straight in. There's a Google Drive option too, which pulls docs and slides straight out of your drive. Mine's empty on this account, so I'll leave it, but it's there. Now, here's something nice. Click any source and it's already written you a summary of it, plus the key topics inside it. See these little checkboxes next to each source? That's how you control what it's allowed to look at. Untick one, and it's ignored. That matters more than you'd think, and it's mistake number 1 later on. On free, you get 50 sources per notebook. Each one can be up to 500,000 words or 200 megabytes. That's a lot. 50 full reports in one notebook, and it reads all of them every time you ask a question. Now the part you came for, let's actually ask it something. I'll ask, what are the biggest risks in this launch? And it goes away and reads everything we gave it, not the internet, just 5 sources. There we go. It's pulled the risks out of a plan, a set of meeting notes, and customer feedback, and joined them up. Now look at these little numbers scattered through the answer. Those are citations, and they're the whole reason to use this over a normal chatbot. Hover one, and it shows you the exact sentence it used. Click it, and it takes you into the source and highlights the actual line. Every claim has a receipt. Let me show you why that matters with a real trap. I'll ask, how many cans does the co-packer need as a minimum? And notice it doesn't give me 1 clean number, it gives me 2, because our own documents disagree. Click the first one. Our launch plan says 15,000 cans. Click the second. The meeting notes say Tom confirmed 20,000. The plan was written first and never updated. The tool didn't get it wrong. Our paperwork was wrong, and the citation is the only reason we found out. So here's the rule I'd burn into your brain: never quote an answer you haven't clicked. It takes 2 seconds, and it's the difference between this being useful and being dangerous. Free account gives you 50 questions a day, which is far more than it sounds once you're actually working. Before we move on, there's a settings menu here almost nobody finds, and it changes how the answers come out. Click chat options. First up, conversational style. Default is fine for work. Learning guide is the interesting one. It explains things step by step and asks you questions back, like a tutor. Then response length. Longer, shorter, or default. If you're getting essays when you wanted a sentence, that's the knob. And you can write your own. Let's do that because it's the most useful setting in here. I'm going to tell it exactly how to behave. Answer in plain English. No jargon. If my sources disagree, say so first. That last sentence is doing the heavy lifting. It makes contradictions the headline instead of something you have to dig for. Save that, ask again, and the answers come back in that shape from now on. When an answer is actually worth keeping, don't copy it into a doc somewhere. Click save to note. That parks it right here in the notebook next to everything it came from. You can write your own notes too. I'll add one. Chase Tom to confirm the 20,000 before we sign anything. And here's a clever bit. You can turn a note into a source. So your own conclusions become part of what the notebook reasons over. The thinking you do today gets used in the answers you get tomorrow. Right, the studio panel. There are 9 different things it can build for you, and a feature list would be boring, so here's how to actually choose. Want to listen while you drive? Audio overview. Need to send someone a 3-minute catch-up video overview. Want to see how the pieces connect? Mind map. Need a written document you can send to someone? Reports. Trying to memorize it? Flashcards. Want to test whether you actually know it? Quiz. Numbers in a grid. Data table, 1 image that explains the whole thing. Infographic, presenting it. Slide deck. Same sources every time. You're just choosing what shape you want them in. Let's do the famous one. Audio overview turns your documents into two people having a conversation about them. Don't just hit generate, click customize first because you can't edit it afterwards. You get 4 formats. Deep dive is the default, 2 hosts, chatty, longest. The brief is 1 voice under 2 minutes. That's the one I use most, honestly. Critique has them pick holes in your material, which is brutal and useful. Debate has them argue 2 sides of it. Then length, shorter, default, or longer. And this box is where the real power is. You can tell the host what to focus on. I focus on the disagreement about the co-packer, minimum order. Explain it for someone who has never worked in drinks, then walk through the risks in the order we should deal with them. 3 sentences. 1 says what to talk about, 1 says who it's for, 1 says how to order it. Without that box, you get a generic summary. With it, you get a briefing. Now hit generate, and here's a trick. Don't sit and watch it. It builds in the background, so go and do something else and come back. So we'll leave that cooking and come back to it in a couple of minutes. And there it is. Let's have a listen. That's from our documents. Those aren't real presenters. And it picked up the co-packer disagreement because we told it to. 3 dots here, and you can download it. It's a normal audio file, so it'll go on your phone like any podcast. There's also a join button that lets you interrupt the hosts and ask them questions live. It's clever, it's English only, and it doesn't work on a link you've shared with someone. Now the limit that'll actually bite you. 3 of these a day on the free account. 3. Which is exactly why you set the format, the length, and that focus box before you generate, not after you've burned 2 on drafts. Video overview is the same idea, but it makes you a narrated video with slides. On the free account, you get the explainer style, and it'll do it in more than 60 languages. Here's the one I made earlier from these same sources. Fair warning, these take a while, sometimes half an hour. Start it, go make a coffee, don't sit there refreshing. You'll read about a cinematic style online. That's on Google's top paid plan, not the free one, so don't go hunting for it and think you've done something wrong. Same limit as audio, 3 a day. Mind map is the one I'd show someone who says they don't get the point of this tool. It reads everything and draws you the structure of it, branches, sub-branches, how the ideas hang off each other. Let's zoom in. You can see our risks branch and hanging off it, the cold chain problem, and the order minimum. That connection came out of 2 different documents. Nobody wrote it down in one place. It worked it out. And these aren't just pictures. Click any node and it asks that question in the chat for you. So you can wander around your own material and go deeper wherever you want. It's genuinely a nice way to think. Next to for anyone learning something rather than managing something. Flashcards first. It pulls the facts out and makes you a deck. Click to flip. Straight off our own documents, no typing them out. And quiz tests you on it. I'll answer this one, right? And let me get one wrong on purpose because this is the good bit. It tells you why it's wrong and points at the source. 10 of each per day on free. If you're a student, this is the reason to bookmark this thing. Reports is where the written outputs live and it's changed, so ignore older tutorials on this one. Study guide, briefing doc, FAQ, they all used to be separate buttons. Now they're report types, inside reports. There's also a suggested one that changes based on what you've actually put in, and an option to describe your own. I'll make a briefing doc, because that's the one you'd send a colleague. And that's a proper document. Headings, the key points, the open questions, including our canned numbers not matching. 3 dots, and export to docs drops it straight into Google Docs, so you can edit and send it. Data table, infographic, and slide deck work exactly the same way. Pick it, wait, done. You've seen the pattern now. Last feature, sharing, because most of the value here is handing it to somebody else. Click share. You can add specific people by email and choose whether they can edit or just view. Viewer is the one you want most of the time. They can ask the notebook questions, but they can't change your sources. Or switch it to anyone with a link and it's public. 3 states worth knowing. A padlock means private. People means shared with named people. A globe means anyone with the link can open it. Check that icon before you send anything, because a notebook full of internal documents is not something you want on a public link. Right, the bit nobody else will tell you exactly what free gets you. First, a naming trap. On Google's comparison page, the free tier is called Standard. There's no column labeled free, so people assume they're missing something. On Standard, you get 100 notebooks and 50 sources in each one. 50 chat questions a day, 3 audio overviews a day, and 3 video overviews. 10 flashcard sets and 10 quizzes. And those reset on a rolling 24 hours, not at midnight. So if you burn your 3 audio overviews at 9 tonight, you're clear at 9 tomorrow night. Paying gets you higher limits on all of that, the cinematic video style, and no watermark. It comes bundled into Google's AI plans rather than being sold on its own. Prices have moved several times this year and they're different per country, so I've put the current ones in the description rather than saying a number that goes stale. One more, you'll see a lot of noise online about it running code for you in a secure cloud computer. That's real, and it's on the top ultra plan and work accounts only. It's not on free, and you're not doing anything wrong if you can't find it. 5 mistakes, I've made most of them. 1, dumping in 40 sources and asking a vague question. It reads all of them every time. So a broad question over a broad pile gives you mush. Untick what doesn't matter. That's what those checkboxes are for. 2, trusting an answer without clicking the citation. Our own plan and our own meeting notes disagreed by 5,000 cans, and the only reason we caught it was 1 click. 3, burning all 3 audio overviews on drafts. Set your format, your length, and your focus prompt before you press generate. You can't edit it after. 4, adding a Google Drive file you don't actually have access to. It fails quietly and it still counts against your 50. 5, adding a paywalled article and wondering why the answers are thin. Websites come in as text only. Paste the text in instead. So that's Gemini Notebook, the tool you probably still think of as NotebookLM. You made a notebook, fed it files, links and pasted text, asked the real questions, and checked every answer against the source. Then you turn the whole thing into a podcast, a video, a mind map, flashcards, and a briefing document, all on a free account. And the thing I'd remember, it found a 5,000 mistake in our own paperwork because it showed it's working. That's the difference between this and a chatbot. Have a go with something you've actually got sitting around, a contract, a manual, a stack of lecture notes. Tell me in the comments what you put in it. And if you're using this to study, that's a whole system on its own. I'm making that next, so subscribe and I'll see you in it.